Okay, hi everyone. This is Karen. I'm not doing a Facebook Live because I want to make sure that I've got a link that I can actually send to people. So I'm gonna attempt to upload this to YouTube and see how that works. I've never done it before, but it's worth giving it a try. And the idea behind this is so that I can actually do a share screen too, so that you can kind of see what I'm looking up. So today I'm basically going over, or want to go over, Uber or any sort of ride share program, that they may have. For a lot of our surrogates, I do like to get rental cars if it's feasible. However, there are some bigger cities that we do fly women into, especially like, LA, San Francisco, New York City, Boston. Some of those cities, I feel better for the most part, unless you've had practice driving in some of those bigger cities, geez, that light is really bad. But I feel better to just have you do the ride share, system instead, if you're just not, all that comfortable with actually driving in those cities. So what I've noticed though is that it's not something that we use in some of the smaller towns. Like if we live, in some of these towns, I never actually used it until I went with Angie to LAX on one of our recent trips. Or I guess, yeah, I forget where we flew into, but one of the airports in the LA area. And so I want to kind of just go over what to do and why we do it, and kind of like the method to our madness, when we first put these together. So I'm going to try to share my screen if I can. And let's see. Let's see if that works. Okay, so hopefully you can see this. I am actually going to use LAX as an example because this one is a little bit harder, but it's also one of our most used airports, into that area. So a lot of the airports now, they don't allow like those rideshare companies to actually drive right on up to like where baggage claim is, to pick someone up. So what they've done at some of these airports where they're like, well, shoot, that's a lot of our business, is that they've actually made kind of like an offsite area where you have to take a shuttle from the airport on over to then pick up the Uber from there, and then you can go on your merry way. It sounds a lot more complicated than what it is. One of the things before you go, definitely make sure you download that Uber app onto your phone, have it. I always recommend to do this with, the airline that you're traveling, download that app. It's so much easier. You can get the airport maps, especially if you have connecting flights, and, we'll just update you on if there's any change. Same thing with Uber, have it there, have your payment method attached to it. You do need to use your card for that. It's one of those things that since you're the passenger, it has to be your card. But have that all set and ready to go. You can kind of play around in the app, beforehand, so you can get some practice on it. I believe that you have to, with LAX, you either have to wait until you're actually physically there at the parking lot for the ride share to pick up, or they have a line system where you literally just get in line and you jump in the next car that's available. But either way, they can link that to your account, and it does make it easy. You don't have to worry about cash. You can tip right in the app if you want, and it just all stays pretty streamlined. And so this is kind of the screen. This is, they call it LA Exit, as they, once again, face coverings are required, well, everywhere pretty much in LA. But, you do need to make sure that even in the Uber or the Lyft that you do have on your mask. So first and foremost, when I'm looking at things and I'm trying to plan this out or kind of give people direction, I will find out what airline they are and what terminal they're coming into. This specific one that I'm walking through is on a gal that's going out later on this week. She will be flying on Delta. She will be coming into Terminal B over here. So basically she needs to, I can pick on that terminal, and it says that shows the closest shuttle stop and estimated shuttle or walking time to LAX. So basically what it's saying is you can either take the shuttle, it'll take 11 minutes, or you can walk and it'll take 18 minutes over to this little terminal or this little parking lot right here. I know like we've got a lot of people on Alaska Air that come in, and I think they come into one of these. So, you know, in those instances, it's much better to jump on the shuttle. I probably would just get the shuttle. It will have the green little sign here, that the LA exit sign. It's fairly easy to find. And then also the help desks in the airport, especially at LAX, they're really, really good about helping you and kind of directing you if you get lost or don't know where you're supposed to go. Once you're over there, you'll kind of see, you know, what they're doing. It's like on the other side of the personal ride pickup area, but the shuttle will drop you off right there. So this kind of gives you a map as to where you're going to go, how you're going to get it. The bus, you know, will bring you in right here. Here's your shuttle drop off. You can get taxis from that right there if you want to. Most of the time though, taxis are just going to be pricier. If you want to do Lyft, it's over on this side. And then you've got some other, they're always coming out with new companies, but you've got some right here. And then the Uber stations are these three that you will go up here and, like I said, kind of wait in line and you take the next shuttle. The pricing on this. So this is a hard one because when we're talking to and from LAX, it can change up a lot based on the time of day that you're going. So we really, really try hard when I'm doing that cost estimator, and I'll show you that. So this is what I use. I'll put in, you know, LAX. For this one, you know, she's going to Hampton Inn and Thousand Oaks. So that's kind of nice too about Uber, is like most of the time you can just put in the name, you don't have to have the exact address. So like, you know, right now it's saying $56 to $67 if you were to hop in a car right at this moment. We normally will, you know, take the higher number of that when we're sending out the funds to y'all. And you know, this one is a little bit more pricey, but that's LA, you know, that happens. Sometimes the clinics are really close and it's not that much. But that is how we kind of estimate out the pricing. You know, I'll look, I always have the map if it looks like it's something that's not too crazy drive-wise, or you're going, you know, away from traffic or whatever. I'll offer, you know, if you want to do a rental car. Just really depends on where you're going. But this is how we really do come up with those costs as far as what we're sending you. So we kind of went through that. When you're coming back, it's actually very easy because if you're looking at the terminals, this is how I find the terminals for each one too. So it'll tell you, you know, which terminals you leave from. But when you go back, your Uber or Lyft can drop you off right at, you know, just like anyone would, you know, if they're dropping you off at LAX. Like on this one, Delta Airlines, of course, they've got some construction going on. So right now that you check in at Terminal 2 and then walk over to Terminal B. A lot of times though, your Uber driver will know, if you say I'm on Delta, they'll know exactly where to send you. So, you know, stop the share here. Okay, so I think it's just me again. So anyway, you know, that kind of, I try to do all that research ahead of time so I can really give you a good, clear, concise, you know, answer as to how it's going to go down, what it's going to look like, what the whole process is going to look like. When we send you those funds, we try really hard to look at what that estimator is at the same time that you would be getting in, so that, you know, we're sending you the right amount of funds based on how busy they seem to be during that time of day. But if, you know, if it's ever like way off, or you guys are like, what on earth, or, you know, it was 20 bucks more or whatever it is, take a screenshot of it, of that receipt, or send us the receipt, whichever way is easiest, and we'll go ahead and kick out extra, you know, funds to you. Sometimes it ends up coming in lower than that, and, you know, that's just a bonus to you at that point, because we're not going to go through the trouble of invoicing you to get that money back. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. As far as sending that, we'd like to send it along with your food money when we're doing that. We're sending it, you know, on a per diem basis. If you ever just feel, you know, overwhelmed, or you want me to walk you through based on your travel situation or your specific airline or airport that you're going into, let me know. I like the travel plans. I feel like I can kind of, you know, live vicariously through y'all that are traveling. I'm one of those that I love my I call them alone mommy trips, where I go off and I get a few nights to myself. And so it's always fun when I'm doing this, but the last thing I want is to add more stress and pressure, to you when you're, especially if it's like for a transfer trip. So, definitely let me know. I'll walk you through. And then it's, same thing if you're getting a rental car. Honestly, if you're just like, where do I go when I get off the plane? How do I do this? What do I need? I will walk you through that. I'll look it up on the airport website for you, and we'll kind of figure it out together if it's one that I haven't, navigated before. So that's pretty much it for right now, but hopefully it helps, and just kind of gives you a little bit of clarification when it comes to this fun Uber stuff.